Shalom, inshallah. I want to start off as always by giving no praise to Yahweh Hashem El Shai, the Balance Apostle GMS on honesty, brothers doing the work in truth, war, sincerity. It's a quick one. It's a headline from a few years ago now. It's the 16th January 2013. I only saw it recently. Thought I'd do a vid on it. It's quite funny, actually. He says I left the love of my life because I thought I could do better. Now I'm childless and alone at 42, right? Which is the state that this world has gotten to, right? Because he saw through this notion of feminism, said, "Yo, it's a brilliant thing. It's so good and so awesome for you." Blah 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 blah. Right? Only for the opposite to be true. Right? So she basically got this woman here, this Becky, basically got married quite young, and then she was like, "Fuck it, I can do better than this guy." Right, and then now he's got a happy family, and she's alone. Which is, and the thing is, you see that big ass grin. She liked being with him, right? But this here sums it up, right? Uh, where was I reading? Man, I can't even find it. Yeah. Now it says now I'm 42 and have all the trappings of success: a high-flying career, financial security, and a home in the heart of London's trendy Notting Hill. But I don't have the one thing I crave more than anything: a loving husband and family. Right. So she basically went down the career route, and to be honest, to have a place in Notting Hill, you got to be earning some funny ass money, right? That's one of those really expensive areas in London where you're, paying hundreds of pounds a week, if not thousands to live there, right? So, she's doing good for herself, but she ain't got what she craves more than anything else. Because at the end of the day, man, a woman's a woman and she has, what do you call it? The urge to have children. That's what basically she goes into in this article, right? Saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. So we go down to the comments, you can read it if you want. This is one what do you call it? It says Heather, whatever. It says, "Our lovely legacy feminism has left for women. Nobody wants to say it, but if she didn't have a fancy career, she probably would have had everything she wanted by now, right? Because at the end of the day, the scriptures talk about a woman that maintaineth her husband, right? So, either she's dating a geezer that's earning, significantly more than she is, and that's saying because my internet just died. But it's saying if she's earning significantly more than he is, then basically says more likely to cheat. Both the man and the woman are more likely to cheat. Now this varies depending on what article you read. Even another article here on this website says what do you call it says what do you call it men are more likely to cheat, but that's what I said. Rather that's what the scripture says: when a woman maintaineth her husband, right, then she's full of reproach. Man doesn't want to be there. Man's supposed to be the head of the house, supposed to be looking after shit, making shit go down. But as soon as you take that away from him, then he's gonna be like, fuck this. And also, with what do you call it, working in these what do you call it, office jobs, these women just be flirting with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that they be around. You gotta look at it in the sense that when your woman be working, man, she's spending more time with other men than she is with you, unless she works with you. But then she'll be like, oh no, I don't want to be a stay-at-home woman. I don't want to work for no man. Yet she goes to work and works for a completely other man who completely dominates her life. Right? He says shut up, she's gonna shut up. If her husband says shut up on the other, and then we've got issues. Right? Goes on to say the truth is when a woman makes more money, there's a significantly increased chance their marriage or relationship will end. The more women move up in economy, the more unhappy they become. Experts here in the States are baffled that women who supposedly have it all, yet from every angle their happiness has been declining over the last 40 years relative to men. Right? And then she goes on to say how, she's a stay-at-home mom, this, that, and the other. And she loves it at the end of the day, man. That's what they're good at. Right? This is 1 Corinthians 7:36 says, "But if any man think that behaveth himself uncomely towards his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age and needs so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not. Let them marry." Right, so basically saying, and we obviously not advocating doing this in this society, of course, but you got to put it out there because people chop up, what you say. right? But Hebrew custom was, well, the Israelite custom was when she was, what do you call it? When she reached her menstrual, she was ready for marriage, i.e., to get popped. Right? Oh, like I said, obviously you wouldn't do that on this side, of course not. But that's just what do you call it? That's just what it was, right? Because at the end of the day, when you look at women and their egg cycles, right, the older they get, the more likely it is for miscarriages to happen, for the baby to be born with defects. A woman's best eggs are when she's quite young, and that's just facts. That's biological fact, right? But obviously, if you was betrothed to her, you as a man have to make that decision of, okay, is she ripe enough for me? Is she ready enough for me? Whatever, what have you. Mary would have been quite young, and Joseph much older, right? So this is what do you call it? Leviticus 15. When you read the rest of the chapter, right, it's basically talking about when a woman's on their period, and listen to what it's described as. Right, it says Leviticus 15:24 says, and if any man lie with her at all and have flowers be upon them, basically proving that flowers here is basically talking about what do you call it, about period, right? And you even see that in Game of Thrones, right? This is Jeremiah 31:22 says, how long wilt thou go about, O thy backsliding daughter? Right, for the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. Right, and in this kingdom that is so true, right? Because like I said, she probably earns, a lot more than most men, and they've been given this freedom to do as they will. The thing is, they ain't good at making decisions. Right, look what she read. It says, I left the love of my life because I thought I could do better. I know brothers can attest to what I'm about to say. You when you was younger, you dealt with a chick, right? And then, she did some dumb shit. She left or whatever, what have you. And then after that, all whatever happened was, just failed relationship shit. Now you see her, she's through this, that, and the other. And the thing is, that was a bad mistake. Because Lord, who you're a man, the Lord, she could have got salvation from you. And now she's just gonna have to taste the missile. Right, but that's what these liberties have gotten these bitches, right? So I'm gonna read First Timothy 5, right, verse 2 says, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity, or the widows are widows indeed, but if any widow have children, I maybe started a bit too early, but I'm here. So let them learn first to show piety at home, right? So, but if any widow have children or nephews, let them first show piety at home and requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before the Most High, right? So the widows, man, let's look at this word piety. To be pious, to worship, to respect, that piety reverently towards one's country. It's basically, I don't really know what this word means, to be honest. Let me look it up. The quality of being religious or reverent, right? Main thing there is to be at home, man, right? It says, now she that is widowed indeed and desolate trusteth in the Most High, and continueth in supplication and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, and that's the majority of women on this earth, especially in the Western world. What do you call it? You go around, just walking through the city, and you might go through certain areas where you get a lot of clubbing. You just got loads of scantily clad women, loads of thirsty niggas behind them following, like, dogs, and dogs trying to hump a leg or something, right? But they live in pleasure, and for the most part, they ain't on no level whatsoever, and they ain't worthy. That's something I go into every now and then, how you might fail with the shit, but the Lord was just like, yo, man, this bitch ain't worth. Because you gotta remember, man, Lord's will wear those men. Not every woman is worthy to bounce upon these balls, man. You gotta, just see yourself in a high light, right? Right, says, and these things give in charge that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years old, having been the wife of one man, right? So up until that age of 60. This is well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she washed the saints' feet, if she relieved the afflicted, if she gave diligently following every good work. Right, so that's very few women on this side. in the Western world. That's not what, Esau will say, a woman does that, then she's oppressed. Right, Esau it makes it like bringing up children is a bad thing. It's like, bear me, I'm not 100% well at the moment. Right, but Esau makes it seem like bringing up children is a bad thing. Right, but that's one of the most difficult thing, and yet one of the most rewarding things you can do. You see those little shits growing up into something beautiful, and obviously, and that's why you got the man at the house who's instilling, what do you call it, the rules, and then the woman be dealing with the children on a certain level, which is why when you read 1 Corinthians 11 chapter says, the head of the man is Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The head of the woman is the man, right? Because that's just the natural order of things that the Lord set up, which, as we read in Jeremiah 31 and 22, Esau has completely flipped on its head, right? It says, but the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against Yahushua, they will marry, having damnation because they cast off their first faith. And withal they will learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tactless also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. And is that not, what do you call it? Is that not the state that we're in right now? Just going around chatting shit, not doing anything of any use. Like, I remember it was Apostle Carp basically saying, "Now, really, women ain't supposed to even use showers. They're supposed to be in baths with salts." But how many women know that? How many times you dealt with a woman, you're like, damn, this man, fucking hell. This bitch don't know how to clean herself. You go into a room and you're like, fucking hell, this bitch nasty, man. Let alone bringing up children. Right, so verse 14 says, "So therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guard their house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully." Right, that's the point. Oh, therefore that the younger women marry. Because the younger woman, man, you don't be waiting till you're fucking 42 and you're fucking useless, right? No one wants you, man. You get that bitch pregnant, man. Your child might come up all jacked up and shit. I mean, ultimately, it's what do you call it, up to Spirit of the Lord. But you look at the stats. You look at the stats about your likelihood of bad what do you call it, a difficult birth, quote unquote. The older you get, right? It says oh, therefore that younger and marry, bear children, right? Bear children when your bodies and your eggs are still good to bear good fruit. Right, guard the house. That's it. Hey, that's a difficult job, man. Those children have to be fed. They need clothes. They need to be washed, taken care of. All of that, man. That's a 24/7 job, man. But then again, that's why you'd also have maids that would work. But you've got maids also that will be your wife's handmaiden to help around with those tasks. Right. So with that, I just wanted to go into that real quick, and then I'm gonna say shalom.